It's no secret that Margaret Olley loved flowers, and her home was filled with fresh, dried and synthetic flowers, ready to be subject matter for painting. Poppies were among her favourites, and even today, in the recreation of her home studio, there are bunches of synthetic poppies in vases, just as she had displayed them. The inspiration for our next Still Life challenge is Poppies and Peeled Orange. Painted in 2011, the final year of her life. She was 88 years of age and was no longer able to move freely from room to paint as she once did. So her niece would visit and help her set up for a session of painting in this chair adjacent to her dining table in the hat factory. Olley had always painted from life, but working predominantly from this one location during her final year meant that she had to paint more from memory. It's most likely that Poppies and Peeled Orange is an example of this. Elements of the composition are entirely suggestive of her green kitchen being the setting for the still life arrangement, and yet proportions and perspectives differ from reality. The objects are reminiscent of actual objects in her collection, but they vary in ways such as colour or proportion. In this final year, there's also a noticeable change to her brushstrokes. Thin layers of paint are applied with swift, energetic brushstrokes, and forms have soft, indistinct edges. In 2019, contemporary Sydney-based artist Nicholas Harding spent time drawing in the recreation of Olley's home studio. On return to his own studio, Harding worked from his drawings to paint the Poppy Rider, capturing the wondrous theatrical potential of the space. The recreation of Olley's home studio is familiar to Harding because he spent time in her actual Sydney home studio. Harding and Olley first met in 1994. By this time, even though he had only presented 2 exhibitions of his own, Olley was already an admirer of his work, and she became both friend and mentor to him. Some years later, Olley agreed to a portrait sitting with Harding, which took place in her home studio. The portrait, Margaret Olley, 1998, was a finalist in the Archibald Prize of that year. Harding's The Poppy Rider and Olley's Poppies and Peeled Orange are on display in a new exhibition in the Margaret Olley Art Centre called Margaret's House until the 2nd of May 2021. We hope you enjoy making new work in response to this still life arrangement inspired by Olley's Poppies and Peeled Orange. Share your work with us at #UnlockingMargaret's House.